Hello and welcome to another Let's Play Side Play, something like that. Me, GamerWolfSix of Khemia, a game about a world full of jackals that I'd like to be with, but apparently there's stuff like politics and amalgamations and all that. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and others, and get the newer versions earlier, you can go to Patreon, where it's $8 a month. Because I'm playing this, like, what, a month or more? I don't know. Earlier than you guys and me posting it. So, on the last thing, I didn't actually look it up. But I guess we could do a quick, new. Oh, where was it? Oh, yeah, we did it in a weird order. Because, like, why did we look up? But yeah, I guess, yeah, we had our thing with her, and then we're having the end of the day. I guess it was a short one because, who knows how long these things are, and when the game abruptly ends, it abruptly ends. Anyways, reset face. And begin. So, I lead him to the bed, and we lay down, falling asleep, almost instantly. There wasn't much time to talk in the morning because Nefru was already gone. Already feeling down about that, things became even worse when, after Amicus asked me to come along to their meeting, this time, I was stopped at the door by Ramosis. He seemed to almost zero in on me, saying I would not be allowed due to my rank and position as student to Vetrius? Embarrassing would be a word to describe that morning, and learning that the Vizier seems to actively dislike me for no specified reason compounds it all. I sit in the common area, downloading and reading Khemian books on my portal. I note that a Khemian counterpoint is quite a bit longer than the version I read. As I skim, I note a chapter dedicated to Wolverines. I guess I can't remember. The main character looked at stuff like that, but then I think he looked at maybe illegal books. But then I think there's I don't know. I vaguely wonder if that's the same species as Brunus. Despite the fact that they've been translated to Adastran and contain knowledge I would have happily given up all my material possessions for, my mind wanders. This trip, and really my life as a whole, is not really turning out the way I would have imagined it. After the events of this morning, I realize now how little I truly matter in this mission. I very nearly asked the Emperor Amicus what my purpose here even is. A childhood of advanced schooling, a university experience that left a third of my friends maimed and dead. Because, it wasn't on purpose. More than 2 years of intensive competition with two of my peers, all navigating my mental deficiencies. For what? But as I skim text describing an early and oddly peaceful relations between Khemia and Adastra, I realize that the strangest aspect of all this is that I don't feel guilt or fear at those illegal thoughts. Here's the thing, even if it's you're just kind of here as very auxiliary support, it's hey, you've been interested in this culture and all this stuff for a long time, and you're right here. Maybe it's because I'm on Khemia. Or maybe that part of me truly died during the traumatic journey here. But I somehow feel more distant from Adastra, and really the Galaxias as a whole. In fact, if I didn't have Mother to worry about, I'd probably ask Nefru about seeking asylum here, despite not having seen more than the palace. Asylum? I know things on Adastra aren't good, but still it's just maybe a permanent, ambassador position, probably? I assumed the promise made by Khemia to accept any creature fleeing wolven oppression, including wolves themselves, still stands. He granted the human citizenship without any prior authorization, after all. Oh yeah, so that, we wouldn't be assassinated or killed. Now, my sole duty is to compromise the one person I want to be able to trust. The more I hear Amicus talk, the less I want to hurt Nefru. I was under the impression that they were allies, and maybe they are, but Amicus's lack of concern for Nefru's emotional well-being is hard to stomach. The human was the bridge between them, and despite Amicus saying so, it's clear that his thoughts about the human and Earth are distracting him. I sigh, glancing up in the direction of where Aya usually approaches. With Nefru having to reluctantly serve his brother for most of the day, my next session with Aya is the only thing I have to look forward to. I don't expect to see her, but I'm surprised to see Brunus. I straighten up, embarrassed at being caught lounging so casually, even though I know Brunus doesn't care. Good morning, Brunus. Sorry I didn't realize you were staying there. Morning, Skip. Hope I didn't seem like I was doing that on purpose. Was about to say hi, but you look a little, like you're not having a very good morning yourself. I smile, find myself sliding back into the false demeanor of cheerfulness, now that a member of the envoy is sitting with me. Oh, I'm fine. I'm often told I look rather remorse when I'm reading. My friends believe that it's unconscious, learned behavior I developed to avoid being interrupted. I set the portal aside. Of course, I don't mind being interrupted by you, Brunus. Did you need me for anything? Nah, I'm just kind of wandering around since I don't have much to do until we go in the city tomorrow. The Khemia ambassador sits across from me. I'm in a similar position, though I don't believe I have much to do while in the city either. I just need to be seen. Just being seen by the public is a very big deal, kid. Khemerians are very familiar with Amicus, and since Vetris is kind of eccentric, you'll make a nice contrast, being young and having a calm temperament. Though the reason I didn't say anything at first is because you looked a bit upset, that's all. My mood has been growing lighter, but now it stalls. I'd hoped he'd let it go after the first attempt. How so? Tail twitches, fur pulling, and maybe you do that while reading too? I glance down at the stuffed seating I'm on, and see a few clumps of fur on my lap and by my side. The amount shows it's going far beyond any typical shedding. Obvious signs of compulsive fur pulling. I stare at it for a moment, mainly because it's been so long since I had such a habit. Not since childhood. Oh, sorry, I didn't even realize. I begin pinching the clumps of fur, but I'm interrupted by Aham. Please do not worry yourself with cleaning up fur. Automated clean drones will sweep the area multiple times a day. I'm left staring at the fur in my paw before I just drop it on the ground. Thanks, Aham. Of course, Scipio. I'm left wondering if the return of a childhood compulsion is some kind of bad sign. I mean, obviously, I'm not complaining that you're making a mess or anything, just noticing something might be bothering you. I debate talking to Brunus about my problems, something I never would have considered as recently as yesterday. I slowly exhale, deciding to go with my more immediate problems. I suppose I'm simply feeling unmoored in terms of what my assignment here actually is. Boy, isn't that a feeling, being like, yeah, I'm here. You guys want me to do something? Does this have something to do with the meeting they're having in the throne room? Yes, I stopped and told my Ramosis. Okay. Time to look for things and paste them there. By Ramosis specifically, that I would not be needed. While that's true, I'm also backup for Vetris. He's not exactly healthy, and while unlikely, I may need to step into his role if something were to happen. I see. Kind of feels like you're being dismissed for your age, or rank. I look up at the ceiling. Can we have some privacy for this conversation? Of course, Scipio. While Vetros tried to protest my exclusion, Amicus simply silenced him, and I was left here. It makes you wonder if Vizier Rasmus is simply that. Difficult to communicate with. Forgive me for saying. Now, Brunus glances at the ceiling before he turns his attention back to me. It seems to be that way. Yeah. Now I see why you asked Aham to leave. Heh. I jump at the opportunity to gain intel. Oh, does Aham or any other device in this palace record audio? I'm not sure, but Aham listens to the Pharaoh above all others, so it's possible. I mainly ask because any sort of criticism of my emperor would result in my dismissal from the envoy, and possibly even prison for me and my relatives. Ooh, I mean, I don't think Amicus would do that. No, hopefully not. Of course, it depends on the emperor, and Amicus is usually not very vindictive. I remember reading that Khemian citizens had the right to criticize their pharaoh, though. So it's better than the United States. Haha. We do, but I kind of have a similar problem. Vizier Rasmus is pretty intense, so I'm keeping on my toes until the actual pharaoh gets back. I see. If I remember, it's like the pharaoh went on a, some kind of galactic journey and then disappeared. I note how Brunus is sitting, resting back, like he's about to go anywhere, anytime, like he's not about to go anywhere anytime soon. Forgive me for asking, but shouldn't you be in that same meeting? He didn't ask me to attend, so I assumed I wasn't invited either. That makes me feel a bit better about my own situation. Guess I shouldn't be feeling so sorry for myself in that case. I get it. I mean, you spent the past few years getting ready for this specific moment. I've been working at it for the past 5 years, so it makes sense you'd be pissed off. Why don't we talk about other things then, so I don't feel so on toes? Yes, I'd prefer that. To be honest, Skip, I've been feeling that way ever since we got here. So, not to scare you, but it might be good to keep on your toes for the next few days. I nod, almost used to being told that something is off, along with a feeling of unspoken tension myself. And it all seems to revolve around Ramosis. I file it away for something I might bring up in the night's meeting with Amicus, depending on how the meeting goes. So, what you reading? I glance down my portal. Now, just a thin steel rod due to inactivity. Oh, I'm just skimming some text to read later. I might start on Counterpoint again, since I can tell, just by glancing at it, that the version I read in the Forbidden Library is heavily abridged and probably edited. It could have been. I'm surprised you'd want to go through something like that. Again, though, honestly, I find sections about Khemian and Adastran interaction to be the most interesting. Considering we've been so isolated during my entire lifetime, seeing any exchange between our people, whether mundane or hostile, is fascinating. Ah, that's true. Well, hopefully you'll get to see it all come back in your lifetime. The good parts, I mean. Hell, with the position you're already in, you might get to see the Galaxias High Council someday too. I almost smirk at the thought, though I know it's the remnants of me feeling sorry for myself after the events this morning. Remnants? Yeah. Maybe. By the way, Brunus, I noticed a section while I was skimming about wolverine species discovered by Khemians 150 years ago. It made me curious as to where your race came from. Ah, that section's cut out of the Adastran translation? I think so. I don't recall reading it. Is that your people? Yeah, actually. I'll let you read it though. Hathor Hotep puts it into words better than I ever could. I wonder if it's modesty or the lack of knowledge on history that's holding Brunus back, but I can tell he's using restraint. Alright, I'll give it a read and let you know when I'm finished. I'm sure it's fascinating. Just be warned, it's not exactly a happy story. Might be the reason Adastra and censors cut it out. That sounds a bit ominous, but as I'm about to ask him to expand on that, I see movement behind him. Oh, it's her! Hello, Brunus. Scipio? Hi, Aya. Hi, Aya. Anyways, hello. It's good to see you again. You as well. What are the two of you talking about? I heard something about reading and censorship. I love censorship. I'm reading a Khemian counterpoint to Adastra history. Oh, really? That's a rough one. Hopefully, you aren't too mentally drained by it. I'm fine. I won't start reading it until after a session. I intend to do exactly that, as the reactions to both Khemians is starting to make me not just curious, but concerned. It's the feeling that I don't know something I should. Just remember that it all happened before you were born. I turn on my portal and put the bookmark in the section titled The Price of Metal to read later tonight. Are you ready for the session today, Scipio? Sure, I just need to take my portal back to my room. Oh, we can just have Ahem do that. Ahem. There's a pause. Oh, we're done with our conversation, Ahem. Could you take my portal back to my room? Certainly. How she purses her lips there. So cute. I realize how futile it must be, trying to get privacy from Ahem, if he's already listening for the command that we no longer need privacy. One of the smooth, glossy black drones is suddenly beside me, soundless, the metal appendage extending toward my portal before I hand it over and watch the drone float away. Are you two exchanging secrets? That face. You could say that. I'm guessing you guys are going to exchange secrets of your own now? Brunus notes my look of surprise and raises his paw disarmingly. Nefru was complaining about you two and your little sessions yesterday. None of my business, though. Oh, Nefru. He has been feeling left out lately. We'll have to see how he's faring later today. Now, let's be off. Until next time, Brunus. Yes, until then. Later. I think I'll take a nap while you guys are doing your thing. Yeah, naps sound great. I didn't really nap yesterday, but I just had to have a little lie down. It's like, fudge. Like, you lay down, the bed feels cool, and you're just like, can't sleep, but it's like, Now I'm familiar with the basics, I follow Aya without hesitation into the contact room. Contact? Yeah. Feeling only a little nervous about what's to come. Alright, how are you feeling today, Scipio? I think to make sure I'm putting on the right words to the emotions I have. I feel calm. I do have some lingering frustration over my role in the mission, but only if I dwell on it. Can you quiet that part of your mind for now? Yes. I say it, but I'm already ahead of her, thinking of nothing except our session. Great. Now, that is something I should have asked yesterday, but I must admit that I'm new to this, and I'm sorry for my lapse in judgment yesterday. I tilt my head, looking at Aya expectantly, trying to convey an alternative, but curious nature, attentive but curious nature. Do you have a history with any mental health difficulties, namely psychosis or disassociation? I don't know what disassociation is. Like, I know the gist of it, but I'm not exactly 100% sure. I know you mentioned Hawaii yesterday, but if dealt with in the appropriate way, like most other mental illness, sorry idiots, it can be overcome. I feel almost impatient with all this, feeling like we've gone over this already. Does this have to do with what happened yesterday? In a way, I ask for two reasons. The first being that if you do suffer from mental health issues, there are many options and resources I can help connect you with. I nod, though I know that is something I cannot do while part of this envoy. Second reason does have to do with yesterday. I want to make sure what happened with you wasn't caused by your own mind turning on you, which can happen in rare cases. Remember, I won't prod too much. This is all based on trust and our own legacy. Our own agency. I can read. I take a deep breath. Not that I'm aware of. While Hawaii has caused me to disassociate in the past, it's been a long time. As for psychosis, that is where one has delusions and hallucinations? Yes, among other things. One of my university friends experienced it while suffering withdrawals from alcohol, but it's something I've never had to endure. What happened yesterday was something real, and something I've only begun to experience shortly after arriving here on Khemia. I feel like maybe I've experienced a little bit of withdrawal, but good thing it's never been psychosis. I'm almost certain that this is not my own mind causing it. I'm almost certain that it was not my own mind causing it. Understood. So, while we know of its existence, we're not fully certain of what it is. I just want you to know that it's something we can stop, depending on the choices we make. You know what I'm going through? Can you tell me anything about it? That's a very hard question to answer, but it's known that amongst the 4 siblings with a sapient, each has experienced the phenomenon in the past decade. Because of the lack of knowledge, we have to use the name the leaves to refer to it, since that's what it sounds like. My predecessor, who served over 100 years, said it was one of the more challenging anomalies he faced, and it was by far the most disturbing. Relief floods me. The knowledge that the strange voice and visions have affected others is something comforting, and we have absolutely no idea what it could be. We've exhausted all records and resources we know of, and nothing comes up. It takes on different forms for each of us, but the through line is this. It attempts to fool us into submitting to its will by offering what we want most. I almost asked Aya about her experience, but I'm glad I don't after what she says next. It's usually so personal that most do not ask or tell about it. If it reaches a point that feels out of control, however, please do tell me now. Please do let me know. I just don't want to invade your privacy. It's strange that, as a wolf, I wish this was the only thing she'd invade my privacy for. Have any of the sapients fallen or succumbed to it? No, that's the good news. It seems to require a true want on the part of the sapient to do the bidding of the leaves. So I only need to resist its temptations? Yes, but that's easier said than done, isn't it? It can take a while, but for now, let's focus on not letting it creep into our sessions. What we're doing today will almost guarantee that anyway, and because it requires so little mental energy, you can ask more questions, either about the leaves or simply what you see and learn today. I'm feeling light and capable with this new information, no matter how vague and unsaid it has all been. Others like me have experienced it, and they all seem to have overcome it. What is it that we're doing? We're going to actually try and read the parents. Although that makes me far more nervous, I do my best not to show it. And that is easy? Yes, it's almost if they allow it, or ignore it at the very least. So, without resistance, you get hints and waves of intentions and feelings. Really, the hard part is trying to piece it together afterwards. A nod, absorbing and trying to memorize every word. Wish I was able to take notes. Alright, what must I do differently from yesterday to reach the parents? So, you know the feeling you sometimes get when you're being pulled somewhere higher? Yes. Like anti-gravity? so you'll need to search for it. But once you feel an opening or a pull, follow it up, all the way up. It might seem scary, but no, that's where the parents are. You can't go too far, so don't worry about that. I hate myself for letting the doubt and fear creep in as the moment of truth comes closer. I'll be right with you the entire time. Just don't go too fast or in another direction. Like the leaves? Yes, but the leaves don't exist on that plane where the parents reside. So as long as we go there, it has no power. I nod. So go ahead and begin meditating. I'll join you once I feel you've passed to the other side. How long do I need to keep meditating to achieve this? You could already be capable, but there's no reason to try that now. Keep everything consistent and structured helps. Isn't Sandmek joining us? Tomorrow. This is more of an individual experience. I nod, then cross my legs and sit on the soft sands. Begin to breathe slowly, listening to the soft sound of the air going in and out, focusing on it. Open my eyes, and I'm surprised to see I'm there already. Maybe I'll try without meditation next time. I wait a moment, listening, then call it with my mind. Aya? I hear ya. I remember the leaves and feel some anxiety, hoping it doesn't find me in the gap in time that I am alone. But that's when I feel the pull from above. I focus on it, and its pull strengthens. And I must feel like a magnet, rising without having to do anything. Scipio, are you ready? Not wanting to miss the opportunity that, I feel, I interrupt her. I can feel it pulling me up already, Aya. Let's go. And I stop resisting, even as Aya begins to say something about taking things just a little slower. I don't seem to have that control though, and I feel as if I'm being stretched as I fly upwards at what feels to be faster than light speed. And it halts. Hard. Very hard. Not painful, but a jolt that interrupts the session of flight. I wait in the darkness. I've lost Aya, but I'm not too worried, sensing a familiar pull from below, where my body is, but I ignore that for now. Though I can't see anything, I sense what can only be the parents. Movements around me feels like vast, monolithic hills and waves, and with a great deal of fear, but also excitement, I open my mind, waiting to feel. The strange part is, I don't feel anything. I feel sapient. And I'm 2,455,785,455,673. Analysis. And analyzes the infinite thread that spread in all directions and all possibilities. Sapient. Big numbers. Timeline at risk of accelerated corruption. Former risk 42.751%. Current risk 73.221%. Nullify sapient, that one, negative. Risk of complete Galaxias corruption 100%. Continue observation. Next sapient of interest. Sapient, what was it? 2,456,133,267,109. Human, Earth. Probability of successful unification shifted from 22.581% to 12.554%. Chance of full unification before arrival? 0.00000011%. Recategorizing timeline. Pathway Delta 1082 B7M8 Beta deprioritize to Beta 1082 B7M8 Zeta. Observation level minimal. Scheduled reanalysis 0.000005 span cycles. I fall through the void again, back down towards where my body is pulling me. So is it like the parents are actually just computers or something like that? Hmm. Interesting. Now, that was quite a bit more direct. And definitely one of those things where it's like, the guy from Star Wars being like, our chances of escaping capture by the Death Star are 7.7 trillion to 1. Hmm. Though that might be a way to call it, because we're at the 30-minute mark and stuff like that. And I feel like I need to turn down or turn up the air conditioning. It's always weird when that question's like, do I turn down the air conditioning or turn up the air conditioning? Who knows? And that's gonna be the end of this Let's Play. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please comment, guys. I like them comments. Tell me what you like, dislike. Tips, or otherwise, if you like me YouTube and like to grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos that grow. And please learn my new animals to help control the pet population. I need to wipe my nose because it's just a little leaky. And until next time. Oh, and if you want to play this game free on itch.io, but on Patreon for $3. If you want to get it like months earlier. Until next time. Thanks, yeah.